The wind begins as a whisper, soft as silk across the distant hills and restless seas. Clouds gather slowly, folding into layers of silver and shadow across the twilight sky. Some say storms come to warn, others that they come to cleanse. But this storm is different. Its silence is heavy, not with fear, but with a promise hidden deep within the rolling veil. Birds circle lower than usual, wings beating in quiet rhythm, as though they too are listening. The earth waits, and the people look upward, hearts stirred by something they cannot explain. The veil grows thicker, trembling with unseen light, like a curtain ready to be drawn apart. Legends whisper of Zeus, the keeper of thunder, who speaks through storms and hidden skies. But this night feels gentler, the air alive with wonder instead of dread, hope instead of warning. A hush spreads across valleys and villages, as though the world itself is holding its breath. The Stormveil gathers, immense yet strangely calm, a mystery carried on the shoulders of clouds. It is the beginning of a tale, not of wrath, but of revelation, and of voices born from the sky. Tonight, we walk beneath the Stormveil of Zeus, where thunder guards secrets, not fears. The first signs arrive quietly, almost unnoticed, like threads woven into the fabric of dusk. Clouds drift higher, pale and thin, yet their shapes twist with purpose unknown to mortal eyes. A single breeze sweeps the valley, gentle but firm, carrying with it the taste of distant rain. No storm breaks, no thunder rolls, yet hearts quicken as though something greater is near. Children pause their play, gazes drawn skyward, sensing a change they cannot put into words. Elders lean on their staffs, muttering softly, recalling omens they once heard long ago. The hills glow faintly under the veil, as if touched by unseen lanterns hidden behind the sky. Fishermen halt their boats along the shore, nets resting, eyes fixed on the strange horizon. The veil thickens, not dark but luminous, holding light inside it like a secret never shared. Travelers on distant roads pause in awe, horses stamping nervously beneath the restless air. The mountains wear a crown of silver haze, layered and shifting with unearthly elegance. Every fold of cloud seems alive, curling like breath, rising like thoughts born from silence. Some believe it to be a sign of storm, yet no fear takes hold, only an aching curiosity. The quiet is weighty, not heavy with threat, but rich with expectation that stirs the soul. Even the rivers slow, as if listening, their ripples stilled by a command unspoken yet divine. Villagers whisper by their hearths, wondering why the winds have turned so strangely kind. The Stormveil does not roar. It hums, faint and low, like a lullaby drifting through the dusk. No lightning strikes, but flashes shimmer deep inside the clouds, hidden like fire in stone. Shepherds high upon the meadows kneel, not in fear but reverence, as the sky unveils itself. The veil drapes wider, spanning horizon to horizon, a bridge between earth and heaven. Birdsong fades, not from dread but from respect, yielding space to the voice of the sky. Even shadows seem to listen, stretching long across fields touched by the veiled glow. Stories echo in the minds of the old, that Zeus does not always come with thunderbolts. Sometimes he comes with silence, shaping clouds into messages for those who will listen. This night carries that silence, heavy yet gentle, vast enough to cradle every mortal heart. The veil swells, shimmering softly, its edges quivering like curtains before a sacred stage. Children dream awake, imagining gates of gold hidden inside the storm's endless folds. Mothers hush their little ones, not in warning but with a calm smile, sensing blessing near. The sea reflects the veil, a mirror of silver waves, each crest catching fragments of light. Sailors murmur in wonder, seeing not danger but a path glowing across the endless waters. The Stormveil becomes more than sky. It becomes presence, alive and aware of its watchers. One moment, a flicker of color dances, like dawn captured and folded into midnight clouds. Another moment, the air warms, then cools, as if time itself breathes in measured rhythm. No one dares to move too quickly. for every heartbeat feels woven into the waiting sky. The veil deepens, gathering strength, yet still no storm breaks upon the land below. Instead, a hush grows stronger, a unity of silence, shared by every living soul beneath it. The fields bow beneath the wind, grasses leaning as if to honor what the heavens reveal. Every detail sharpens, the scent of earth, the glow of stars behind the shifting clouds. It is as though the world is both vast and intimate, cradled inside a divine embrace. The veil breathes, the world listens, and all of creation leans toward the same mystery. The whisper of clouds is no longer background, but a song shaping the night itself. Each ripple of air, each flicker of glow is a note in a symphony too ancient to name. And still, the people wait, eyes lifted, hearts open, certain that the sky is about to speak. The winds carry secrets that words cannot hold, slipping softly across fields and rooftops at dawn. Birds rise strangely, their wings tracing restless arcs as though guided by unseen hands in the sky. They circle higher, then lower, their cries sharp yet distant, echoes shaped like riddles in flight. Villagers pause their chores, watching the patterns, whispering that the air itself has changed. The silence of the clouds deepens, but within it a faint rhythm pulses, steady as a hidden drum. It is not thunder, not storm, but something older, woven into the sky like a forgotten song. Children tilt their heads, hearing tones they cannot name, yet their eyes widen with wonder. Dogs do not bark, nor do cattle stir, for even the animals sense the quiet message of the wind. The veil above ripples gently, as if someone beyond the clouds draws a breath to speak, and all who live beneath it feel their hearts thrum with an unfamiliar harmony. Farmers stand in their fields, tools resting on the soil, staring upward with knowing silence. Travelers on distant roads murmur, exchanging glances, as though sharing a secret unspoken. At the edges of the sea, sailors report the gulls flying in circles, never straying far from shore. They say the birds watch the heavens, waiting for a sign, refusing to cross the shining horizon. Every feather seems to shimmer in twilight, reflecting light that no sun has yet cast. The messengers are not fearful. They are patient, their motions deliberate, their cries serene. It is as if they carry whispers from cloud to earth, delivering a truth too vast for speech. Some hear them and claim the voices are songs, carried from Olympus itself through wing and air. Others hear nothing but silence, and yet even silence feels full, like a vessel of meaning. The winds shift again, not fierce but focused, moving with intent rather than chance. They weave through branches, across rooftops, down alleys, humming soft notes like harps. Each gust feels placed, purposeful, like a phrase in a long story spoken by the sky. In the markets, coins jingle faintly, touched by the breeze, ringing like silver bells of omen. At wells, water ripples in circles, though no hand stirs them, as though answering to the air. The people grow still, not in dread but reverence, realizing they are being spoken to. The veil shines faintly above, its depths glowing, as if fireflies drift behind folds of cloud. And from that glow, a feather drifts down, not burned, not broken, but golden and pure. It lands in the palm of a child, who holds it gently, smiling as though holding the sky itself. The crowd gasps softly, yet no fear rises, only awe at the gift borne on unseen currents. The child says nothing, yet all understand. The sky has chosen messengers both seen and unseen. From bird to wind, from wind to heart, the message flows, wordless yet deeply known. It says, prepare to listen, for what comes is not storm, but revelation. Above, the veil shimmers again, alive with movements like brushstrokes across the heavens. The birds wheel one last time, then settle quietly on trees and rooftops, wings folded in peace. The wind softens, carrying the scent of rain not yet fallen, fresh and sweet as morning dew. People return to their homes, not restless but calm, carrying whispers within their souls. Each feels that the air has marked them, like ink invisible, yet impossible to forget. The messengers have spoken without words, leaving silence richer than any human speech. Night falls gently, wrapping the veil in deeper hues, as the voices of sky grow still once more. But the memory lingers, pulsing softly in the hearts of all who listened that day. The Stormveil is no longer only cloud and shadow, it is a language of the divine. And the people, touched by bird and wind, now know the sky itself waits to reveal its secret. In the quiet hours before dawn, a dream finds the oracle, tender yet vast as the sea. Her chamber is still, save for the faint flicker of oil lamps swaying in the night air. She lies upon woven mats, her breath steady, when the dream slips into her mind like silk. Clouds gather within her vision, swirling not in fury, but in graceful, deliberate spirals. Each spiral glows with threads of silver light, weaving patterns too sacred for mortal design. At the center stands a figure, tall and radiant, robed in the shifting fabric of the sky. His eyes are storms, yet not of rage, but of wisdom and unyielding calm. She knows him at once, not by sight alone, but by the weight of presence, Zeus himself. He lifts his hand, and the veil of clouds trembles, parting just enough to reveal a glow. The glow is not lightning, nor fire, but something softer, a dawn folded into the night. His voice comes, low and resonant, carrying across the dream like a river of thunder. It speaks not of wrath, but of harmony, of balance between the earth and the heavens. Tell them, the voice says, the veil is not for fear, it is for awakening. The oracle feels the words not in her ears, but in her bones, etched deep into her spirit. Around her, the dream world shifts. She sees villages, mountains, rivers, all under the veil. Each place hums with hidden light, waiting to be revealed when the time is right. She sees children holding feathers of gold, shepherds kneeling in reverence on the hills. She sees poets writing verses that glow with fire, though no ink touches the page. The dream folds these images, one into another, layering them like threads in a tapestry. Every thread returns to the veil, every path leading back to the storm's quiet heart. The oracle watches as the veil deepens, and within it appear countless voices of song. They rise and fall together, a choir not of mortals but of the sky itself. Their words are not spoken, yet she understands. The veil carries a promise of guidance. She feels her chest swell, not with fear, but with a gravity she cannot deny. For she has been chosen as witness, keeper of a message larger than herself. Zeus lifts his hand again, and the dream begins to fade, but his gaze holds hers steady. Guard this truth, he whispers softer now, like wind across tall grass at dusk. And when they ask, tell them the veil is not storm, but revelation. The glow fades, the clouds scatter, and the oracle feels herself drifting back to waking. She stirs, opening her eyes to the dim glow of lamps, heart racing with holy fire. The chamber is unchanged, yet the air feels charged, alive with echoes of the dream. She rises, robes falling across her shoulders, stepping into the silence of morning. Outside, the veil still hangs across the sky, luminous and vast, awaiting its hour. She kneels, touching the earth, whispering thanks for the vision gifted from above. The ground beneath her hums faintly, as though the dream had spilled into waking life. She knows the people will come, with questions, with awe, with fear held close, and she must speak not with her own words, but with the words etched into her soul. The message is clear, yet beyond her, too great for one voice, yet entrusted to her care. She breathes deeply, feeling both the weight and the honor of her role. The dream lingers, replaying again and again, each detail sharper than memory allows. She cannot sleep again, for sleep feels too small to hold the vastness she has seen. Instead, she lights incense, letting the smoke rise in curls, mimicking the veil above. She whispers the words softly again and again. It is not for fear, it is for awakening. And in that moment, alone beneath the lingering glow of clouds, she becomes their herald. At sunrise, the sky bears the same veil, vast and trembling, yet gentler than storms of old. Farmers in the fields look up, their hands still on tools, listening as though to a distant hymn. Shepherds on the hills pause, their flocks hushed, eyes tracing the silver folds across the heaven. Travelers whisper of omens, yet their voices are filled not with dread but with solemn curiosity. The call of the sky does not strike with thunder. It hums softly through the air like hidden music. Children laugh as glimmers of light flicker in the veil, chasing the reflections across streams. The rivers mirror the clouds, glowing faintly, rippling with colors that shift like dream fragments. Fishermen at sea steady their oars, sensing currents pulled differently beneath the Stormveil glow. Birds no longer wander aimlessly. They form patterns, circling in spirals that echo the clouds. Everywhere, the air feels alive, carrying warmth and chill and alternating waves of gentle breath. An old man at the village gate closes his eyes, murmuring that Zeus is watching kindly tonight. Mothers hush their children not from fear but reverence, pointing to the veil as if to a shrine. Even the forests seem aware, leaves rustling in measured rhythm, like verses of a secret prayer. The veil expands, its edges glowing brighter, casting halos around peaks and towers alike. Merchants in the marketplace stop their bargaining, their voices fading as awe takes hold. The hum deepens, soft but steady, a sound that unites all who hear it beneath the sky. It is not a call to flee, but a call to stay, to bear witness to a moment larger than time itself. A farmer drops his plow, stepping forward, hand raised as though reaching toward the light. The people follow his gaze, each feeling the same stirring within their own hearts. The oracle, standing at her threshold, nods quietly, for she knows this is the sign foretold. The veil pulses, not with rage but with rhythm, like the steady beat of a celestial heart. Shadows lengthen, not in darkness, but in hues of violet and gold, painted across the land. Travelers from distant towns gather, drawn by stories spreading faster than the morning Sunday. They share tales of skies that glow, of dreams that speak, of winds that carry hidden voices. The call of the sky reaches them all, regardless of tongue, age, or faith, binding them together. Some kneel, some raise their hands, others simply breathe deeply, content to be present. The air tastes of rain, but no drops fall. Instead, the promise of renewal lingers on every breeze. Children press their ears to the ground, claiming they can hear the earth humming along. Poets scribble hurried lines on scraps of parchment, desperate to capture the fleeting moment. Minstrels pluck at strings, finding melodies rising unbidden, born from the sky's hidden tune. And still, the veil glows, each flicker of light a spark of mystery dancing upon the clouds. The oracle steps forward, her voice soft but certain, carrying across the waiting crowd. "Do not fear," she says, "for the heavens call us not to trembling, but to listening." The people bow their heads, hearts quieted, as if her words were woven from the veil itself. In that silence, a deeper stillness falls, as though even time pauses to honor the moment. The mountains echo faint vibrations. The seas shimmer with an unearthly silver sheen, from valley to valley. The call of the sky touches all, leaving no soul untouched. It is a summons not to war, nor to warning, but to witness the beauty of divine presence. The veil thickens once more, its edges curling inward, as if cradling something yet unseen. Every gaze remains fixed upward, breath held, waiting for what the heavens will reveal. The call of the sky has been heard, not in thunder or flame, but in unity and quiet awe. And in that unity, the people begin to understand. The Stormveil is not an end, but a beginning. The veil lingers through the day, stretching wide like a tapestry woven from mist and radiant threads. Sunlight filters through it, scattering beams that dance across meadows and city walls alike. Children chase the shifting light, their laughter echoing like bells under the soft sky. Farmers set aside their tools, choosing instead to sit quietly and watch the heavens unfold. It is not laziness, but reverence, a surrender to beauty too vast to ignore. Everywhere, silence grows between words, as if the people fear to break the harmony overhead. The oracle walks slowly among them, her eyes reflecting silver, her steps measured and calm. She carries no staff, no crown, yet the crowd parts as though her presence alone commands space. Her voice is low, steady, as she tells them the veil is not mere weather, but a bridge, not of stone or wood, but of meaning, a threshold stretched across heaven and earth. The people listen, not questioning, for her words feel less spoken and more remembered. She speaks of dreams passed down, visions of voices clothed in thunder but softened by light. And as she speaks, the veil ripples, glowing brighter, as if in answer to her song. The crowd gasps, for the light forms patterns, fleeting shapes like wings, crowns, and rivers. Children point skyward, claiming they see figures dancing, though the forms dissolve too quickly. The fishermen whisper that the sea itself is calmer, as though the tide obeys the sky. Travelers kneel, pressing their palms to the earth, sensing warmth rising through the soil. Poets cry softly, overwhelmed by the beauty of what no pen can fully capture. Even merchants forget their coin, watching as the veil paints golden arcs across rooftops. The oracle lifts her hands, not commanding but welcoming, as though inviting the sky itself. A hum rises once more, this time deeper, like the heartbeat of the world itself. Mountains rumble softly, not in anger, but in resonance, as though echoing a hidden hymn. The people do not scatter. They stand firm, drawn together by wonder stronger than fear. Birds circle higher, wings glinting, forming shapes that mirror the glowing folds above. The veil thickens at its center, where light gathers like a seed waiting to blossom. For a moment, silence overtakes the hum, a pause that stretches into eternity. Then, a voice emerges. Not thunder, not speech, but a harmony that all can hear. It speaks not in words, but in meaning, carried into every heart with clarity. Some weep, some smile, some bow low, yet all understand the same truth. The voice tells of balance, of the bond between sky and earth, between mortal and divine. It does not command, it reminds, like a parent guiding with love instead of force. The oracle closes her eyes, whispering the words aloud, so others may hold them close. The veil is not storm, but promise, not wrath, but gift. The people repeat after her, their voices weaving together, fragile yet strong. The veil brightens in answer, shimmering with threads of violet, gold, and deep azure. Rivers reflect the glow, carrying it downstream, as though delivering the message afar. Travelers know the story will spread, carried not by fear but by reverence. The veil sways gently, its edges moving like fabric caught in a slow, eternal wind. The oracle lowers her hands, tears on her cheeks, but her smile calm and assured. She whispers, "Zeus does not descend, but he surrounds, always within the veil." The crowd bows their heads, not to worship in fear, but to honor in gratitude. The hum softens, folding back into silence, leaving behind a stillness pure and complete. Yet the people know this is not the end, only the first echo of a greater revelation. As twilight approaches, the veil does not fade. It grows richer, deeper, as though alive. The call has been heard, the promise spoken, and the hearts of all are forever changed. Night descends, yet the veil does not fade. Instead, it glows brighter against the canvas of stars. Villagers gather in open fields, their faces lit by both firelight and the silver shimmer above. The air feels alive, pulsing with rhythm, as though the sky itself is breathing in quiet measure. Children lie on the grass, eyes wide, pointing to streaks of light woven through the storm veil. The oracle speaks gently, saying the veil opens more at night, when silence allows its voice. Travelers from distant lands tell of dreams filled with melodies that echo the veil's song. Shepherds report their flocks moving calmly, as though lulled by a lullaby from the heavens. The rivers glow faintly, carrying light along their surface like threads of woven moonlight. Minstrels play softly, their music blending with the faint hum carried on the evening breeze. Poets whisper verses, their words trembling as though guided by unseen hands above. The veil thickens at its center, forming a sphere of light, tender and radiant, hovering still. Some think it a sign of birth, others a blessing, yet none feel fear beneath its gentle glow. The voice returns, not in thunder, but in harmony, flowing through hearts like a soft tide. It speaks of cycles, of seasons, of the balance of growth, decay, and renewal. The people listen, each soul hearing what it needs most, yet all sensing the same truth. The oracle repeats softly. Zeus speaks not in command, but in communion. Birds soar into the night, gliding as if carried by unseen waves woven through the veil. Mountains shimmer faintly, their peaks reflecting light like lanterns placed upon high altars. The seas remain calm, their surface glowing with the mirrored light of the sky. Travelers fall silent, humbled, their long journeys made small beneath the veil's embrace. Even the oldest among them whisper they have never known a night so filled with peace. The hum deepens, vibrating gently through soil and stone, uniting sky and earth in one pulse. Children fall asleep in their mother's arms, smiles on their lips, dreams soft and golden. The oracle kneels, her hands pressed to the ground, her tears falling quietly, unseen. She knows the veil is a gift, but also a lesson, a reminder that mortals are never alone. The people bow their heads, not in worship, but in gratitude for what they have been shown. Merchants, warriors, scholars, farmers, all find themselves equal under the storm veil. Each heart stirred, each soul quieted, each mind opened by the silent song of the heavens. The voice lingers, soft and endless, telling them the veil is not only seen but carried within. Do not look only upward, the oracle translates, for the veil is also in your spirit. A great stillness follows, as though even time has paused to hold the moment longer. Fires crackle, but no one speaks. The only sound is the veil humming with ancient truth. The light shifts, weaving patterns across the grass. Symbols no one fully understands. Children trace them with fingers, giggling, while elders whisper they are signs of blessing. The night deepens, stars circling slowly, as though bowing to the greater light of the veil. Travelers swear they see shapes in the sky, not gods descending, but unity itself. The oracle rises, her face calm, her voice soft, telling them the night is sacred, eternal. Zeus watches, she says, not from afar, but through the threads of the veil itself. The people lift their eyes once more, hearts steady, their fears dissolved into wonder. The veil does not vanish. It glows stronger, wrapping the night in warmth and grace. As the first hours of dawn approach, no one leaves, for none wish to miss the next breath. The people understand. They are no longer merely observers, but part of the storm veil. And as stars fade, replaced by hints of morning, the veil holds, radiant and unbroken. Morning arrives, yet the veil remains, glowing gently against the rising sun like a second dawn. Fields glisten with dew, each drop reflecting fragments of the silver storm above. The people rise early, not to labor, but to gather once more beneath the luminous sky. Children run barefoot, chasing rainbows born from the light scattered across the mist. Merchants open their stalls, but coins do not matter. All eyes turn upward in wonder. The oracle walks among them, her presence steady, her gaze fixed on the horizon. She tells them the veil is shifting, preparing to show them truths hidden for ages. The crowd grows silent, their hearts beating in rhythm with the faint hum above. Birds perch along rooftops, facing the storm veil as if listening for a signal. Shepherds guide their flocks closer, sensing calm in the air that settles even restless lambs. Travelers gather in the square, sharing stories of dreams that echoed the veil's voice. One speaks of rivers glowing gold, another of stars falling like seeds into their hands. Each tale carries the same thread. The veil is not a warning, but a gift of remembrance. The oracle nods, her voice soft, saying the veil speaks to each in the language of spirit. The people bow their heads, humbled that even in their smallness, they are seen. A ripple moves across the veil, casting shifting symbols upon the earth below. Circles, spirals, and arcs of light weave patterns across the fields and rivers. Children trace them with sticks, while elders whisper they are signs of eternal unity. The oracle kneels, touching the soil where light lingers, and smiles through quiet tears. "This," she whispers, "is how heaven writes upon the earth without words." The people fall silent, feeling the truth stir deep within their bones. Suddenly, the veil brightens, threads of gold interlacing with silver and deep indigo. The hum grows richer, resonant, flowing like music through hills and valleys. Mountains echo the sound, their peaks shimmering as if crowned by unseen hands. The rivers carry the glow, bending their paths in gentle arcs as though guided by song. Fishermen at sea pause, watching fish leap joyfully into the glimmering waves. Even the forests respond, their leaves trembling as though applauding in quiet rhythm. The oracle raises her arms, not commanding, but inviting all to witness the moment. "Zeus does not hide in thunder," she declares. "He breathes within the veil." The crowd repeats her words, voices uniting, weaving strength from shared awe. And then, a vision emerges within the storm veil, faint yet unmistakable. It is not a face, nor a figure, but a vast expanse of light shaped like open hands. The people gasp, their voices trembling as they recognize the symbol of welcome. No threat, no fear, only the embrace of something greater than themselves. The oracle bows low, whispering thanks, her voice breaking with reverence. Children laugh and clap, unafraid, for they feel joy instead of dread. Travelers fall to their knees, overwhelmed by beauty beyond language. Farmers hold soil in their hands, realizing their labor is part of the same gift. Scholars scribble notes, though their ink cannot capture what the heart already knows. The hum softens, folding into stillness, leaving a silence filled with presence. The vision fades, but its warmth lingers, carried into every heart like a hidden flame. The oracle turns to the people, her voice calm yet filled with certainty. "The veil does not come to rule us," she says, "but to remind us we are never alone." The crowd exhales as one, a breath of release, of peace, of shared belonging. Morning stretches onward, yet no one moves, unwilling to leave the sacred glow. Even as the sun rises high, the storm veil holds, radiant, unbroken, eternal. By midday, the storm veil shimmers brighter, bending sunlight into arcs of violet and silver. The marketplace falls still, voices hushed, as though the veil commands its own sacred silence. Children stop their games, pointing skyward as patterns ripple across the glowing fabric above. The oracle lifts her gaze, whispering that the veil is nearing its deepest revelation. Travelers gather closer, drawn not by curiosity alone, but by something older, almost instinctive. They feel it in their bones, a pull as ancient as fire, calling them toward the horizon. The rivers surge with soft radiance, carrying streaks of gold upon their restless currents. Fishermen let their nets drift, knowing the waters hold more than simple harvests today. The mountains glisten, their peaks crowned with halos like luminous garlands of the gods. Birds wheel in spirals, their flight forming echoes of the swirling shapes above. The hum grows louder, though still tender, like a chorus sung from within the clouds. It vibrates through the soil, through stone, through the very breath of every living thing. The oracle raises her hands, not commanding but guiding, like a conductor of silent music. "Listen," she whispers, her voice barely more than wind. The veil speaks of remembrance. The crowd leans in. Though the words are not hers alone, they flow through her like a stream. Light spills from the veil, cascading downward in threads that brush the tops of trees. Children laugh as they reach upward, their hands glowing faintly where the light touches them. Elders bow low, murmuring that it is a blessing to live in such a time. Travelers weep quietly, knowing their long journeys were meant to bring them here. The veil brightens further, revealing faint images within its folds, visions of past and future. They see fields flourishing, rivers rising, Skies clear and then clouded again. It is not prophecy of doom, but of cycle, of endless renewal and return. The oracle speaks once more. The veil teaches that nothing is lost. All is transformed. The people nod, tears in their eyes, for the truth feels heavier and lighter all at once. Farmers clutch handfuls of soil, realizing each seed is part of the eternal rhythm. Mothers hold their children closer, knowing their laughter continues the song of the world. Poets scratch their lines with urgency, though their words fall short of the sky's music. Minstrels strum their lyres softly, echoing the rhythm that hums across the land. And then the veil pulses, as though taking one vast breath shared with all creation. The hum peaks, filling every heart with warmth, dissolving sorrow like morning mist. The vision within the veil deepens, no longer faint, but vivid and alive. Figures appear, shadows of ancestors, friends long gone, faces beloved yet unseen for years. The people gasp, not in fear, but in awe, recognizing love carried across the veil. The oracle smiles through her tears, whispering, "They are not gone. They walk beside us still." Families cling to each other, hearts trembling, as joy mingles with remembrance. The veil flickers, its images shifting like pages turned in a sacred book. Visions of harvests, of songs, of children's laughter ripple through its silver folds. Every soul feels the message. Life is eternal, flowing endlessly through unseen threads. The hum softens, leaving only stillness, but the warmth lingers deep in every chest. The people bow their heads, whispering prayers not of fear, but of gratitude and peace. The oracle lowers her arms, her face serene, her voice steady as a river. The Stormveil does not come to end us. It comes to remind us we are endless. The words settle over the crowd like morning dew, soaking into every heart and spirit. Children dance, spinning in circles, their shadows glowing faintly beneath the light. Elders smile, whispering that the veil is both mirror and promise. Travelers vow to carry the story, not as rumor, but as living truth. And still, the veil remains, a luminous bond stretched between heaven and earth. As the sun begins to dip westward, the storm veil glows deeper, like a fire banked for night. The people linger, unwilling to part, for they know they stand in the presence of eternity. Night descends, yet the storm veil glows stronger, as though it has swallowed the stars into itself. The moon rises pale and quiet, yet its light bends gently around the silver curtain above. Villagers gather once more, carrying lanterns, though none are needed in the veil's brilliance. Children whisper that the veil itself is a second sky, stitched with hidden constellations. The oracle sits upon a stone, her eyes reflecting the light like twin pools of memory. Her voice carries softly, saying the veil grows thinner at night, closer to mortal hearts. The people lean in, eager, expectant, breathing the cool air heavy with unseen promise. The hum returns, deeper now, like a drumbeat echoing from the roots of the earth. Flocks of owls circle high, their wings glimmering silver as if marked by the veil's touch. Wolves howl in the far hills, not with menace, but in harmony with the song above. The rivers glow brighter, winding like molten silver threads through the darkened valleys. Fishermen watch from their boats, oars resting still, lost in the wonder of the sight. The oracle lifts her hand, pointing as shapes stir within the veil's luminous folds. They are not shadows this time, but full visions that flicker like moving fire across the sky. The people gasp as they behold towers rising, gardens blooming, oceans shining. Visions of a world both ancient and yet to come, folded together in shimmering light. The oracle whispers, "This is the memory of creation itself, shown for all to see." The crowd murmurs prayers, not of fear, but of awe at the immensity before them. Children press against their parents, their eyes wide with wonder, hearts steady with calm. Travelers weep openly, knowing they are witnesses to something never sung in story before. The veil trembles, and the images shift to faces kings, shepherds, mothers, and children. Not gods, but mortals, each glowing with the same light that binds earth and heaven. The oracle smiles, her voice trembling. The veil tells us we all carry divinity within. The people kneel, some in prayer, some in silence, some simply gazing upward in awe. Lanterns dim, though no one notices. For the Stormveil provides light enough for all. The mountains echo with strange resonance, as though their stone bodies are singing back. The rivers pulse in time, each wave a syllable in the veil's unspoken song. Animals draw near, foxes and deer entering the village without fear or hesitation. The people make space, as though instinctively knowing this gathering belongs to all. The hum grows louder, now layered with tones like voices overlapping in eternal harmony. It feels not foreign, but familiar, like a song they have always known yet forgotten. The oracle leans forward, whispering. It is the voice of life itself, sung through the veil. The people close their eyes, letting the music wash through them, carrying sorrow away. Hearts grow lighter, memories of loss softened, replaced by warmth and gentle clarity. The children laugh in their sleep, dreaming of gardens where starlight grows on trees. Elders shed quiet tears, feeling youth return to their spirits if not their bones. The veil glows brighter, casting silver streams that settle into the soil like planted seeds. Farmers watch in awe, knowing their fields will remember this touch for generations. The oracle lowers her voice, steady, calm. Zeus does not send storms, he sends renewal. The crowd repeats the words, carrying them like fire in their throats. Fierce and gentle, the veil ripples once more, then grows still, glowing steady as a great silver ocean. The hum fades, leaving a silence that vibrates with the echo of what was heard. The people remain gathered, unwilling to part, bound together in luminous quiet. Above them, the Stormveil stretches unbroken, a sacred bridge between time and eternity. Night deepens, yet fear does not come, only peace, vast and unending, like the stars. Dawn rises again, painting the horizon with hues of gold and pale blue, soft against the silver veil. The Stormveil remains, steady and radiant, as if it has become part of the sky itself. Villagers wake with hearts lighter, carrying dreams that linger like gentle embers in their minds. Children chatter of gardens of light, rivers of stars, and ancestors who smiled within the veil. The oracle walks slowly through the village, her steps quiet, her face calm as still water. She greets each soul she meets, touching their hands, as though passing along unseen warmth. Travelers prepare their packs, yet none rush to leave, for the road feels changed beneath them. Farmers head to their fields, sensing the soil humming softly, alive with memory and promise. Fishermen set out to sea, but their eyes drift skyward. Nets lowered with reverence, not haste. Merchants arrange their stalls, yet trade feels like ceremony, each exchange a blessing. The oracle gathers them all once more in the square, where the veil glimmers above. Her voice carries gently, like a stream flowing through stones polished by time. The veil is no omen, she says, but a reminder of what binds heaven and earth. The people listen, their silence heavy with reverence, hearts open to every word. The gods are not distant, she continues. Their breath moves in rivers, winds, and stars. Children lean forward, eyes bright, as if hearing bedtime stories carried by eternity. Elders nod slowly, remembering lessons once spoken by their own ancestors long ago. The oracle's hand rises, pointing skyward where the veil ripples in soft golden waves. It seems to breathe, not as storm, but as companion, steady and eternal above. The people join hands, strangers and kin alike, forming circles across the square. They hum softly, echoing the veil's tone, weaving their voices into living harmony. Birds perch nearby, joining in with calls that rise and fall like scattered notes. The river swelled gently, waves lapping the banks as if listening to the human song. For a moment, no boundary remains between land, sky, water, beast, and humankind. The oracle smiles, whispering, "This is the gift of Zeus, not lightning, but belonging." The people weep, their tears not of sorrow but of knowing they are part of one whole. The veil responds, shimmering brighter, threads of silver turning briefly into living flame. Visions return, not distant or strange, but reflections of the people themselves. Mothers see their children, children see their elders, each glowing with shared light. The oracle bows her head, saying, "The divine does not tower above, it walks within us." The people nod, holding to one another, for the truth feels vast, yet tender as dawn. The veil pulses once more, then settles, steady, quiet, like a great heart at peace. The hum fades into silence, yet the silence feels alive, full, unbroken by emptiness. Children laugh and run, their joy spilling into streets now blessed by light. Farmers return to their soil, hands steady, carrying the promise of renewal in every seed. Fishermen row calmly, knowing the waters now sing with memory beyond their nets. Travelers set forth, not as wanderers, but as carriers of story and living truth. The oracle lingers, gazing skyward, her heart resting in the stillness between breaths. She whispers softly, though all hear, "The veil remains, but so too does its song within us." The crowd disperses, yet each step feels sacred, as if earth itself receives them gently. The veil holds, stretching eternal, yet its greatest gift is already planted in their souls. Morning brightens, casting long shadows, but no shadow carries fear, only belonging. The Stormveil of Zeus endures, not as threat, but as promise, a bridge of endless light.